Hello, hello. Good time of day, everyone. Actually, let me adjust my headphones a bit. There we go. So, getting back into the saddle. It's been a interesting past few weeks, but should be able to do today. Don't know how long this will go, because I might just get it done enough and call it quits, but we'll see. Either way, without further ado. Hello, Meekin. Wow. Alright. So, before I go into things, I'm just going to bring up some examples, because when I say old school 3D dungeon, I mean old school 3D dungeon. This is Wizardry, which was actually on the NES, which you could probably tell by resolution, the fact that it didn't do much. However, looking for other examples of 3D first-person dungeon crawlers, I did find some with a little bit more. Did I put it on there? This was Might and Magic. Which I'm a little iffy if this is the actual NES version, which we'll get to other ones I'm iffy on later. But one key feature that's going on is you have the door in front of you, left, right. Door in front of you, left, right. And this will be useful later. Then this was Dragon Wars, which I have no idea, but once again, you can see that they have some divisions of like looking down a hall, and well, you have the enemy there. Then you have your scrawl of text. And this one was the Bard's Tale 2. I'm not sure about the Bard's Tale so much. It might be putting things down in the 45-degree chunks, which I'll get a little bit into later. Because some of them might have just been pre-rendered rooms and, you know, so on and so forth. Path of the Pool of Radiance, good old D&D. Once again, 45 degrees. This one's interesting because you're at a corner, so the map would be... yeah, just a little bit wrong. There's a lot wrong with that compass, to be honest. If I had to take a guess... Let me turn off smoothing for a sec, or stabilization for a second. This scene is effectively like this on the map. And you have like a door. So you do have something that's doing a little bit of blocking of the next one. Hello! Kevin, and I'm having a little trouble seeing that last bit, but hello. I'm just looking over right now some of the old 3D dungeon crawlers because I haven't got exactly into meat, but I want to make this. I want to make the 3D display of a 2D dungeon crawler of the old NES standard. This one, oh, I don't have, oh, this is SMT, I think. I'm not sure if this is the NES one. I had a really heck of a time trying to find the original Shin Megami Tensei for the NES screenshots of the dungeon crawling. I mean, it's easy enough to find. I'll get to that in a minute. But I was able to find the SNES ones, which is what everyone remembers. And this is the mechanics of this are very much laid to bear in this. Because you can literally see the edges of what they're displaying. And then here. And this is just a missing wall. And I think I might have... Yeah, this is just a hallway. I don't know which one this was. Anyways, so the point I'm getting to... Let me make a new screen. Keep it at NES resolution for giggles. What I want to do, at the most base level, is I want a grid. In that grid, it has connection data, because that's how you do this stuff. And I want to have it so that You have your little camera here. And I'm going to sprite up, to some extent, how the view would be in order to emulate these old games. So, like, this right now would be... Well, pretty much this, except... No, it is this, except this wall would be open right here. And this wall would be closed. And... how to do that, I believe... Whoops. C++. One second, let me actually bring it up. So I have my project running here on good old VS Code, and this is basically my... Oh, I have my FOV code in here. This is my little toolkit of making roguelike stuff, or pretty much anything else in general. Right now, it doesn't do anything. Like, I'll pop it up. This is just the screen rendering. It's on top? It's on top. And it's just black and all that. Make it go away. And get into the main heartbeat, which is just... It's the thing that renders every quote-unquote frame. So, like, I could have... in here... I'm just going to steal some of this because this is an example. That blitz it to the screen. Whoa. Where's my other one? Okay, here we go. This clears it out. This is just regular good old-fashioned SDL information, but anyways, I have some basic code set up in like putting in sprites from a tile sheet. It's not that difficult. This is all the basic stuff. I just have it put together weirdly. Like, I put everything in a header because I program strange, but where is my texting? Because I always forget how my functions are called. It's tile map, That's set up. Okay. 1 second. Here's my sprite render system, and I look for what it is, like a text. Of course, that render text sprite. That's a single sprite. This is a little bit of me just slowly accumulating mess after mess, but it's not that bad. Technically, very technically, the text I'm rendering here are sprites. So I pass in the renderer, main render. I pass in the texture, which would be text. Or no, font texture. 80, 80. Hello world. And I hit this magic button. It compiles. And there we go. We have hello world sitting up there. That's actually coming through. That's actually coming through. What I have is just a glorified get stuff to screen. And that's the way I like it. Anyways. Let me go back to a bit of the explanation. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I would have a little bit of trouble, like, explaining it rather quickly. I will as I go along, because I just don't shut up about these things. But we'll get there. Let's just zoom in. So the basic idea in most of these, in these early ones, you only get basically 2 rooms of view, i.e. your current room and what's in front of you, so you can actually, like, you know, face a wall. I don't have an example of, like, it would look like with an open door. This one you might kind of have that. And I think possibly a lot of these old designs were never meant to have more than 3 open spaces in a row, so you could get away with this stuff. But the idea is to have three planes of things. You have your back plane. Yeah, that's the right one. Where it would be... let's actually do it. So, you are here. You're able to see this one on row 1. This on row 2. And this on row 3. So in this instance up here, actually, let me put another one up. There we go. Apologize if I'm all over the place, but it's what I do. You have this viewport. And without going too deep into it, everything is at a 45 degree going in, and then a 45, and reaching like a vanishing point, which is beyond here. Like the vanishing point would be back here. But instead, we do a bit of trickery in order to have what is in these 3 tiles pushed here. And then what's on top of that, on these 3 tiles, like back here. And then these 3 tiles are, well, what's left. The thing that trips me up in trying to think of this style, but I think it comes down to, we just have twisty maps that don't have more than the three spaces of view. And that's how they've all designed them in order to do it. Actually, I can verify that by just pulling up an SMT2 map. Shin Megami Tensei 2 maps. Can I get an image? Yeah, this will be good enough. Bop, bop. But all it's going to be is putting sprites on the screen of the correct type. Yeah. This is utterly trash to look at, but it gets the point across. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, one second. I just need a standard connection map. This is better. Yeah, this is where you see all the cheating going into this. And why I'm harping a little bit on you only see 3 at a time, because... Actually, no, this one you get to see a lot more. But you don't actually get to, like, wide open spaces. The most wide open space you get is here, here. It's like a 2x2. And I'm guessing these long hallways, they just show black as the background there. So you don't get into a situation where there's a 6x6 room and you have to figure things out. Mostly when you're looking down just a corridor. And then if I remember correctly, they'll just show doors here, doors here. So it's not like I have to make special look into room things. I just have to have a wall sprite that is the door. So beyond that, let's mock up the screen. I'm going to just work in NES resolution. Good old NES resolution. And half of these are using the upper left corner. Because even less assets, then you get into the SNES ones and they can do whatever the heck they want. Or you get into the really old ones, which paradoxically have more on the screen, but it's a lot less. These are probably all rendered with background tiles. This I have no idea. You might possibly literally just have it software spriting in and putting these down as some sort of put pixel on screen method. Which I'm not sure if you can actually do on the NES. No, you would just edit the tile sets that go on. I think that was the trick of the Nintendo Entertainment System. Then you have this be... Look at this. You have these giant tiles, or these giant bricks, and then it halves them for the door. I mean, and it doesn't even like get the corner, the sides of it. Like it's somewhat of a. Oh, I forget what it's called. The door frame. That's what it is. Anyways, let's actually get to something. Default always assume background is black. And let me start dicing this up. Oh, no, I just want to make the dungeon crawling part. It's something I've always wanted to do for a while. I might not even pick this up again, I'll be honest. But it is more of a coding exercise than a long-term thing. I have other long-term things that I'm thinking of, but the only design I'd have for like an actual first-person dungeon crawler is one second, I just realized 256, 240. I put this in the middle. I must have put in the wrong number. Okay. The only one I've had in the past is pretty much the Rage game equivalent of a dungeon crawler, which I think is funny. I haven't seen it done, and I don't think it do well in this era. Because most of the time I make roguelikes, to be honest. That is my main what I do. I'd like to make RPG type things, like more JRPG. But they tend to require to have too much asset fill. Roguelikes I literally get done in a week. Because I do 7-day roguelikes. Challenges. Okay, let's just hash that in as a thing, and then we'll have, you know, a bunch of scroll down here, because that is what is in there. It at least gives me something to work with. Now then. Okay, that meets up. I'm getting the sizes of the sprites I need, because that's going to be like really what everything revolves around. And I'm thinking, actually, no, it's 45 degrees. That's not 45 degrees. That's 45 degrees. Yeah, something like that. Boop. And there's a horizon line. I could see why they used the top left square, because square is probably going to be the easier thing to work with, but I made my bet so far. And I'm trying to noodle where I want. I could try and measure these other ones, but see. So let's just say 16 tiles in. Start this second one. I'm just thinking. So what would this represent right now as a fully open thing? So this would be the 3 tiles going across and looking up. That would be, oops. Thank you for your service. Please go away. So if we're here, this is a fully open space. I mean, I need to get like one more in here. I might want to revise and squish this over a little bit because I don't like it. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It does work. Make these 4x4 tiles, make these 2x2. And the last one should be 3x3, which doesn't line up because it's not an odd number. What I say that what I'm trying to figure out is the best way to make each one of these So if we go 4 over, this is effectively the corner of it, and this is the middle one. It'll be the same up there. You see the 3. It's just when we get it to the middle, there's not enough room. One way to solve it is just to make this slightly bigger. But you know what? We might as well do. I'm drawing everything. It's not a proper nest system. Whoops. I can cheat. Wah. So let's move you down. Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that's probably one problem. I wanted to be a number divisible by 3, so let's make it 9. Math is hard. 7. Whoops. Wrong layer. 7, 8, 9. Okay. Grab you. Get down here. Grab you. Get over here. Oh. I said you. Honestly, might as well grab it as well. Up. Up. The problem with increasing size is that I have to increase sprites to put in there. Because the ultimate end goal, as I said, is to be able to represent these 3 spaces put into this projection. And why I'm keeping it 3 by 3 is that, one, it's simple, because I'm not making infinite sprites going down, and I don't think I could do a proper tiling system that I could just like half them and put them in. So I need to have sprites that could show there's a block here, there's a block here, there's a block here, and also that there's a block here, so this space is open and you're seeing through it. Don't like how it's like this, but... So this is tile 1, tile 2, and tile 3 would be within there. So let's just... or row 3. Select you. No, I don't have a Telegram. I have a Twitter, and I have a Twitter, and that's about it. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Which is linked. It's the Scribble Moon. Most times I work on sprites and VTuber pixel rigs for the most part, but today I'm programming. I don't like how that converges, but I think it might have to be that way. So we'd have to say that, like, right here... past here would be, like, just black. This seems a little too squished. Regrets. Okay. So these are 4, and then it becomes 3, and then this is no longer 2s. I have a feeling if it's just a bit more, this would all work out, but it's not. Else I could probably just tell how much this is going to heck by, yeah. So technically... the room should be, from perspective reasons, ending back there, and this would be like 4th row if we were displaying it, but we aren't because we're only going to be giving at a max of 3 by 3. That is the tiniest thing. Which would mean that I might have to revise this. I'm seeing the flaw in my ways. So if we had a left wall going all the way down, think a little bit. First off, let's take a look at some of these. So none of them have the wall in your face. Except for maybe these really old ones, but even then the wall is over here. So instead of this being... So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 always has to be open. There's no way 8 cannot be open. And I think one thing I'm thinking is like, this is 8. Whoops. That this would be 8, and you know, this would be 9. But that's not true. All this should be 8. I mean, it's distorting the heck out of everything, but who cares? Then that would mean that this section right here is 9. This section is 7. This section is 4. This section is 5. This section is 6. And this is 1, 2, 3. And for those in the audience, what does that mean? Not a lot. Oh, when I go live, I pretty much go live consistently on Saturdays at like 9 a.m. Central Time. That said, I mostly focus on making like pixelated VTuber models because that's what I want to try and do and help with. Though I do programming and RPGs well, solo RPGs every once in a while. Except in March. In March, I do 7-day roguelikes, in which I try and stream on here as much as I can stand it in an entire week. Which I don't think I hit 40 hours last time. I have to check, but I streamed a lot of it. Okay, I think I can work with this idea. So, how do I sprite sheet this? Because I don't care about the absence of sprites. We'll have like... yeah, let's start with there. Okay. I can't... oh wait, how big is this? Maybe I can do it in... You are... helps if I actually get the right corners instead of that. You are 12 by 80. Okay. Well, 1200 by 80. Let's make this 4 wide and 4 tall. And we can have a special grid of 12 by 80 so we can actually tell what's going on. 1200 by 80. Now let's actually get the Nest color palette. Let's make the eyes bleed. Bop. So first what we need is the background back here to be black. I'm just making it obnoxious to start with so I can actually see what's going on. Then I'll probably just use grays for everything, I'll be honest. Save me horizontal. Okay. Wait, that's not the right one. I did it again. I don't know why. I keep saying do 45s and then I don't do 45 degrees. Okay. Yeah, feel free to ask questions. I mean, like, I'm not doing too much at the moment. But what I need to get right now is this back here, and this is 32 down from the top. So, like, right here. And how big were you? You are 16 high. I say that because these grids are set up in 16 by 16. It's just what they are. The background grids, not the grid I automatically set, but... Anyways. So this will be our default background. No matter... Oh, that's why. I didn't turn on my pencil tool. So no matter what we do, there will always be void back here. And now to make this a little more sane. There we go. We can make that black. Turn off contiguous. Boop. I think I'm just going to texture this slightly. If I really wanted to, and somebody was holding a paycheck to my head, I would probably make all the bricks. But I just want to get the point across and get this system up and working. And I'm not sure I could do it without any visual feedback, which is why I'm making sprites first. And figuring out how the heck I would do this. So that's half the puzzle here. I am unsure how to do it. I've thought of it in the past. I figured today I will just do it. Spend like 4 hours getting confused and never touching it again. Such is life. Okay. So this is our base background. So this is literally, we have a actually, no. This would be representing a hallway that is going into infinity with walls on both sides. So what we need to do is get rid of these walls and extend this out. This is going to be our base level system. Our base level, there is nothing in the room. Whoops. It helps if you copy. Bop, 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 bop. There we go. It's a little silly, but programmer art. All my art is programmer art. Okay. Why aren't you going down to the corner? Huh. Well, that's not going to matter. Okay. So this is a default, the most empty room you can ever get. And I'm going to do a bit of trickery. I'm going to turn the contiguous off, hit that, and because I had that selected, it didn't get rid of the rest of the black. So this is our default background that will always be up. And this is bothering me, so I'm going to do a little more trickery by shaving this off. And move that over. Cool, we have a background. Should the bottom be darker or should the light be darker? Top be darker? It doesn't matter. So now, This is our background. I mean, it might be nice to have... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that slightly lighter. And then for here, let me just see. Yeah, that's not right. Oh, it's half. Okay. So we want to put this about here. Nope. How far off am I? I'm a decent ways off. This should be a quarter. Right on. All I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up here. Same for up here. And this will be just a visual that the left and right are farther. Whoops. Turn contiguous on so I can just do this. Call it a day. I could possibly do some dithering and make this look round, like as if you had a torch or whatever. But basic background. I'm actually going to save this. Storage programming. I call it storage just because it's where I put all the junk, all my files, all my random stuff. Okay, stream dungeon crawler into art assets. We will... Oh, I have a bunch of junk in here. Let me clear this out while I'm in here. That font can go away. That... Oh, I can't delete it all right now. Because then the program won't compile. Whatever. Okay, I will save this as... No, it will compile. I just won't display right. Okay. This will be... dungeon tile.ping. Okay. Let's actually get some programming done. I've spent, you know, a half hour not programming. So first thing first, I have to actually load that in. Do I do it in the header? No, I don't. I do it in the heartbeat because the heartbeat has this one function up here that just loads all the junk. Yeah, there you are. These are for sprites. Background texture, image load texture. Main render. I'm going to have to update it in a second because I don't have this existing right now. This has not been initiated yet. I have to do that in the construction header because that's where I initiate everything. Not the most sane way I do stuff, but nobody's paying me. This is what happens. Okay, where are you? There you are. Dungeon tile. So when I say this is set up somewhere else, I mean it's set up here. So these are just SDL textures, which I can load image data straight from a PNG file or a JPEG or whatever you want within reason. And this is a pointer to it, yada yada. Background texture. So come back here. You're loaded. I want to replicate how I put down sprites. Actually, you know what? I've uploaded one thing I did in Godot, but really not so much because, well, there's nobody to upload to. And a lot of these don't get too far because I'm just spending a little time on Saturday doing casual programming. And also, my STL system is a complete and utter mess, and I'm not sure if it will compile under other people's setups, which is the problem with all GitHub projects of any sufficient weirdness. I say this as a person who played around with trying to figure out how gains worked back in the day. Any of the old and probably any of the new AI attempts or scientific models, oh, those are a pain in the butt to set up. I don't even think I could set them up on this rig now. They all require industrial-sized data centers in order to train and run properly, so no. But anyways, okay, so I have this texture. Now, sprite renderer, let me just expand this out. I have a very simple system in this. Do. Everything pretty much works from STL render copy. Now, for some of these, I have like little animation things where I assume that it's an array, and you can offset by given the glyph size because I program mostly roguelikes. So everything could technically be a 16 by 16 letter, but either way. What I'm looking in here for is, do I really want to make a method for this? You know what? I think I will just do this to start off with, just making raw locations. What I mean by that is I'm going to make a... Is this on top? Yes, this is. I'm going to make an array of recs that is pretty much this, how the grid is set up. So this would be 0, this would be 12. Sorry, 16. And work from there. What I'm going to do, what I really should be doing, and how they would actually do it on the NES days, is that these would be halved, and they just make one side and flip it over. But I want to make this as simple as possible for me to work on. So this is no room. This is always going to be blitted to the background. And what I'm going to have here and here is a left opening and a right opening. And I guess if I was really doing it, it'd be doors and whatnot. But I'm just going to have it be straight up, we have wall or we don't have wall. Well, I guess I do have enough room for doors. So let's just go back here. And I am going to make static. Does it truly need to be static? Probably not. Doesn't matter. STL rect array of 4x4. And this is going to get dumb and hard-coded, but oh well. This is how I do things. Oh wait, I need to have a name in here. Tile, background tile rect. And I can just put these in as struct. Actually, I don't know what this is called in here, but it's how you fill a struct by hand. That's all I need to do in this. So the struct for STL rectangle is 4 integers. It's the top left corner and the width and height. And these are 120 by 80. Do you not like static? Fine. I swear I've done this before. It's been a while. It's been like a few... It's been probably actually a month or two since I did proper mess of this. Oh, wait. No, that's why. Uh-huh. Okay, now it can yell at me. I know I could do this. It's been a while. Sorry, it's been a little bit since I've actually done stupid declaration stuff. But I know I can do arrays of that stuff because I do it all the time. I mean, I could just cheap out and just go like... Am I doing this backwards? No. You have the thing. Oh, I am doing this. It's been a bit. Okay. Are you happy? She's happy. Okay. So this is 120 over 0, 120, 80. This is 240 over 0, 120, 80. This is 360 over 0, 120, 80. I'm going to copy this all down because then it's just going in Y direction. And I have a lovely trick for that. Is it Alt? It's Alt. So now this is 80 down. This is going to be 160 down. And this could be generated on the fly, but I don't want to generate it on the fly. If the tile sheet isn't going to move, and I'm going to have enough trouble trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing, just make it easy on myself until I can actually optimize later. So what this gives us is just an indexed array of this. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, so on and so forth. Excuse me 1 second. Now then, just to see that I'm not completely insane, I am going to make a render background in here. There we go. We can look up that. Render background. First off, we need to clear out everything. Do work here. And then we put this in. Now, also what I need is... Oh, sorry, put you there. STL rect. Background blit rect. Which is going to be equal to... this spot right here. So that is 32 by 16. $120. Okay, let's see how badly I did math. So now I have this, which means I can do basic STL render copies. Which just requires me to put in the main renderer, which I have as a floating global because I am terrible. Background texture. And then we put in our two rectangles and pass them in as pointer nonsense, which I always forget what's the proper syntax to do. I am a Python baby at the end of the day. That's what I worked in the most. So we're doing, first, the source is where it's copying from on the main texture being passed in, which we have declared that this is going to be it. So we're always going to be putting this in the background. So we grab 0. And then we just pass our main location where it's being copied to. We put this in here. And Bob's your uncle. So in order to get this to work now, render background. Nice. So let me hit the magic keys. Didn't yell at me. I could ship it. I hit the button. Oh yeah, I didn't readjust the screen. Let me readjust the screen size to be a Nest console. It's not technically, because I make it a bit bigger. I upscale it by 3. So the Nintendo Entertainment System has a console size of 256 across, and it's like 240 in the US. They get like an extra 8 on the top and the bottom, I think, for PAL. But that's not great. Oh wait, I don't need to care. Don't need to care, it's not reading it. So this divide right here is just making this this symbol across the rest of the thing just equal what's after it. It could be a function, it could be whatever it wants, but it's just that. Okay, so I recompiled this, and now it is a nest screen. This looks oddly square. One second. Let me just make sure. You know how you really tell if you got something right? You hack it up so that... yeah, I have it right. 240. This is 256 across, right? Yeah, this is 256. Are you 120 or did I just mess everything up? Yeah, you're 120. Did I just mess something up? Did I just do my math wrong? It's always possible. Oh. Well then. That's fine. Let's just run off this. It's a bit smaller and it's a bit in the corner, but... Whoops. Okay, let's make you proper size again by saving and actually compiling this. So I guess it'll just be old style where I have the character things over here, the options floating around here, and a... Well, no. No, I say that as I have these sheets up that literally tell I'm a liar. Where this is the scroll and this is the character information. It's so weird to look at the old stuff, but it is what it is. This is the scroll. This is nothing right there. This is the scroll and commands, and this is the character information. Or they could put it over the top of that. Anyways, let's just work with this so we can get things done. So this is a room with nothing in it. What I need to have is, I said before, blocks. We're Minecrafting this by saying we have a left block and a right block. I'm going to regret not having... Oh, is this... So that's why. What is your size? You know what? Let's fix this before it gets too bad. You are 192 by 144. Canvas size 192 times 4. 144 times 4. Okay, at least it's lining up the corners, which is going to cause me less headaches. Can I just transplant this like right in the middle? Oh, wait. 192 by 144. Okay, cool. We're going to have to adjust some things. First off, I'm probably going to have to fix this in a minute, so let's just get that stripe in there. This is why you measure twice and cut once. I'm going to have to go back in and change the sizes on there, but it'll be fine. Also, I can't work with this background color. There we go. Choose 2 colors you don't use and don't give a care about. I like purple and green. There. Now then. Oh, of course the group... I guess I have to make it... Okay, you go all the way over here. There we go. Now I can tell what's going on. You know, that wasn't too far off. Anyways, let's just extend you out. Wait, first turn this off before it does weird stuff. It's already trying to do weird stuff. Okay, boop. Apologies if this is unable to be followed, but I'm just fixing my mistakes because I did not make the proper size. I thought it was fine, but I realized that I can't get proper sprite tiles. What I mean by sprite tiles is that if I put any... Okay. Let me just do this real quick. So flip it vertically. Shift. There we go. Put that up here. Sprite tiles is like, if I put anything on the screen, I'd like it to line up with a grid, and the standard grid is 16 by 16. However, what I ended up with in there did not follow any multiple of 16 by 16, because I had just grabbed this inner one instead of the outer one, which is lined up with the grid. I mean, this is technically lined up with the grid. It's a little off. Anyways. Wait, it's not going all the way down? Did I grab a chunk of it when I copied the other one over? Yes, I did. Thank you for your service. And now, because I have this being a full thing now, I have to actually, like, you know, grab the sides. Not these ones, though. This one, though. Okay. Boop. Boop. Could fix that later. I don't care enough right now. Let's save that out. Let's change the sizes on here. But quite simply, this is, what was it, 190? Not a great number to remember. I'll be honest. 192 by 144. Oh. 120. 192. Boop, 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 boop. 80 might be in this document else somewhere, so I have to be careful with this. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to hold Alt and drop this in here because I don't want to change the 8. No, I actually do need to change them. Crap, I need to change everything on here. Oh well. Okay, once again into the breach. So what I need to do is fix all those and then fix the multiples going on. So this is 144, so this is 288. And this is 422. Never do math on stream, so it's probably, you know, terribly, utterly wrong, but we'll find out in, like, you know, 2 hours. And going to... Wait, that was... Yeah, that's Y. This is X. So this needs to be... I actually need to pull out a calculator from, because I am not doing those numbers. 192 times 2, 384. And 192 times 3. 576. Yep, I was not getting those numbers right. Nope, that's not what I want. Why? Yep, very useful to put a piece of toast in front of my cursor so I can't actually see what I'm working on. It's lovely. I love fighting my IDEs. It's great. Okay, so we didn't fix one dimension of this, so it's coming in correctly. It's just not the right size. So it got a bit squished. That's what I'm saying. So there we go. There. That's as expected. Now, with that, we can start putting in the walls. So, this is open floor. This next one would be blocking left, blocking middle, blocking right. So I'm just going to copy this over for a second. Right here. How do we want to signify that this is completely blocked? And the rest of this is open so that, like, I can mix these three together and not have any issues. Okay, let's go back here. So we're saying that in this, it's the whole, like, 8 pixels up from the middle. And then it would extend, like, over here. Like, best case scenario, it has a line going up like this. Worst case scenario, it goes up here, then it has a line going out, saying that it's wall. I'm not going to think too hard about it right now, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, whoops. Are you off? One, two, three, four. Nope. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that should match up down here. And this would be the wall for that section. So the rest of this can go away. Nope, I can turn contiguous. Not today. Go away. And let's just use a different color right now. I want to get this visible and saying that I'm actually doing something. Whoops. We can retexture walls later. So this one's simple enough. We paste it, we drop it in here, and we flip it across. The middle one, not so much. The middle one, I think I'm going to just, once again, paste you over. I'm just going to slide a cross section of this in. And put that right in the middle for right now. It's got to end at that green one. So if all my math is correct, my math is not correct. These should line up with each other. And when put together, would be able to give an illusion of a wall. Cheap trick. Oh no, I got rid of... whatever. There's one program where it leaves the marquee after you delete. I swear it's this one, but there's so many weird little context sensitive, oh, this was your last action while it's selecting this layer, that it drives me mad. Okay, cool. So this always has to be rendered last so that it can cover up these two. Actually, let me, just for sanity's sake, check to make sure that it would do that. Lovely. I love new features. I'm not really mad that they keep popping up. Okay, cool. I'm completely wrong. I need to get it out to here. This is terrible and unfixable. It'll take me a few hours to do this. Okay, there we go. Hit Control F, which is advanced mode, which means hide all your menus, because that's really useful. Some advanced modes and key combinations to turn on advanced features, I want to know if they actually get used, or somebody to justify their job came up with them and pitched them and said, we'll get so many more users. Nobody uses them. Okay, cool. Now, this will cover up these two if they're already put in there. So I am going to make a really dumb function. A very dumb, no good function. Am I? I think not. So what I'm going to have is a... I'm not going to have any sort of doors right now, so I don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to have a Boolean field of view. I'll future-proof it. Int dungeon view, which is only going to be 9, and we're going to initiate it to 0. So this is always going to be on. If dungeon view, the top left one is going to be our starting point. If that is equal to something, that's going to be the top left thing. If dungeon view 2, that's where we're going to do the right one. If dungeon view 1, we overwrite that middle one so that it can cover up both sides of it. So this is going to be like possibly 10 blitz a frame, which, I mean, isn't bad. It could be worse. It'd be horrible in old days, but it's not bad. So, as I was saying before, we can just reuse that. And we are going to use 1 for this. 3 for this. It's funny that it's off by 1. And 2 for this. Okay, you're fine with that? Are you going to actually run? Oh, did I break some? Did I delete the color on there? I deleted the color on this. Fun thing with just going straight off pinged files is you don't need to recompile. Oh, of course it didn't get this side. There we go. Cool. So that would come in properly. Let me go back into main so that I can actually set up some stuff. Sure, reset floor. To do. Remove setup. So dungeon view 0 equals 1, which will give us something in the top left. There we go. So dungeon view of 2 equals 1 will give us our 2 corners. And this would be updated as the user moves to the dungeon, but I need a way to just display the sprites. And the one that checks to make sure everything is working properly and meshing, dungeon view 1 equals 1. This will be the... we have something in the middle. There we go. We're looking on something straight on. So if this side like that, maybe it's a bit harsh that this doesn't like go off of that, so I might need to cut in a little bit, possibly, maybe, not sure. I'm going to go with it for now because I don't want to spend more hours on it. Because I want to get the next 2 layers made so that I can at least make a basic dungeon setup. Though I've been streaming for about an hour, so I'm going to stand up and not get blood clots in these legs. So I will be right back. Stand up, hydrate yourself. Alright, I'm back. So, phase 2 of this. We have... I don't know what you call it. So we have what I had put on here as like row 3, which is 2 tiles away. So we need to have row 2 and then row 1, which is going to be missing the like middle one because you're standing on that tile. But it needs to have the walls for here. I'm going to make them a different color because that's that's how I'm going to roll. But I need to get the measurements that I had from here. So row 2 is 32 in. That should be simple enough. Actually, let's just cut this. This is going to be the maximum height. I'm going to make a clown vomit right now and just make this like different primary colors. So I don't get confused. Oh. Yeah. That wouldn't have been an issue, but it exists and it bothered me. Okay, there we go. So 32 in on this one. And it needs to end 1.5 tiles in, which is kind of weird. Yep, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for showing up. Okay, let's use this blue. We'll use the darker blue for the inside of it. But for now... So it needs to go all the way in here from 2 in. So this needs to be blue. Then it needs to go 1.5 about in here. I'll quibble with that later. And go all the way down. Boop, 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 boop. Well, actually... this one needs to be the darker one. So that's where it slants in. Okay. So in theory... yes, look at that. It lines up. Over here, flip it across, and now comes for pain. Whoops. I'm going to use yellow for a second. What needs to happen is that it covers these up completely, up to the edge. As I said, this is very inefficient. And the proper way to do this would be to, like, do half tiles. I have this and then I just flip it the other way. But for sake of me getting this done, I'm not... okay, cool. Now that I have that made, let's go into the renderer. Back here. Up, up, up. Oh, I'm in the right thing. Okay. Let's run. Where are you? Background, where are you? So we have these. This is... oops. I'm going to put a note in here. Furthest away. Mid away. Left and right. So I can literally just copy this and then increment some numbers. I'm going to do this the absolute laziest way and just add 3 and not even bother. I'll hit the... I'll let the compiler deal with this. Actually, no, these are 4 based. Okay. So I will be having stuff render that's being covered up, and that's fine. I don't care. View 4 equals 1. Okay, let's just see how this looks. Oh. That's a mistake. Okay. 4. Well, this should... Let me think. So, 0, 1, 2, 3... Oh, it is 3. Okay. 3, this is 5. And this is 4. My bad. Off by 1 error. And now this should have... Oh yeah, because I'm also saying 4 down here. It should be 3. So I did probably have it right before. Yeah, there we go. We have this wall going to here, and then there's corner down here. Let me just Beep, boop. I can't spell. Shocker, I know. There we go. That's going across. It's going to about the right spot. That's fine. Okay, cool. Now we only have the final part, which is actually really easy to do. Because we have the other ones. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. No. And I'm going to make these red because the eye bleed must be complete. Well, no. Green. These must be green in order to complete the eye bleed. Ill bleed, you could say. Okay. So you would not see the sides of these ones. So it should be the darker green color. Because this effectively would be directly... This would be continuing to about here and then turning, and that's behind you. Oop. Well, I think I need to make this one more. Cool. As I said before, there is no middle one for this. Because you would be standing in a block, which actually does seem like old Dungeons Crawler puzzles, but I'm not doing it. And the proper thing to also have on here would be like, these are actually sane, and that there's a variant that has like a door in each one of them. But because I'm not having doors at the moment, I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, and because I'm going to need it later, we're going to have an int player facing equals 0. 0 up, left 1, right or down 2. And in the other direction, left 3. I'll do something with that in a minute, but for right now, back to this. Room. So I only need these final 2 for this. So this is going to be 6 and 9. And I'm going to be cheeky and just put 8 in here. Either way, nice. Dungeon view 6 equals 1. And let's get rid of this one right here. So now we should be like looking down. Yeah. Like they expected. The only thing that's messing a bit up is this because, well, I guess not. Technically, the background should probably always be a dark. Yeah, let's just... But then I wouldn't know, like, what the top... I say, okay, let's try this. Boop. I don't even need to recompile because that's a texture thing. I guess. Maybe, kind of. As I said, I don't really think there should be a way to see a room this open. Usually we'd like have something over here maybe. It's like hello. What do you mean by unrated? Actually, I think the key to solving this is to give a gradient. So this would be the darkest back here. Well, this is the darkest. So next step would be... Ah, thank you. It's mostly me fooling around with this, but it is appreciated. You know what? I'm going to just... The nest gradient is not going to do it for me. So let's bump that up to 57. And actually have a gradient. Bop. And then pop this up to 67 to have an even more of one. Which is going to be at the final 2. And I think this will solve some of my gripes about how it looks. Then after this, I'm going to actually have to make the crawling. It's going to suck, but it's how it goes. Okay. So we run this again. Yeah, that looks better. If I were to do this properly, I'd probably be putting a lot of texture at the edges in order to break it up. Kind of like what I'm doing way back there and didn't continue. But this looks believable on how it's supposed to go. I mean, it looks even more believable if I put a block back there equaling this. Bop. I messed up on this side. Okay, that's good to know. So I need to drag this over a little bit. How did I flip that wrong? At least it's a texture fix. That is weird. So this should be covering it. Oh, wait. Did I mess up on... So 192 times 3. Okay, let me just look at it again. Yeah, this is cut off more than it should be. Why are you like that? There's 2 reasons. And I don't think one of the reasons is that the sprite is wrong. I think it's the math to pull it in from the texture sheet is wrong. So I messed up math on stream, as expected. Okay. So 192 is the width. Whoops, I'm putting in bad numbers. Times 1, we move you over 1. 2 times 3 is 546. And I have these all wrong. Okay. This is why. Cool. Okay, I run this again. And boop, boop, boop. That's even more wrong. Oh, also okay, I missed that one. It's correct now, but it's pushed too far over. Which is weird because technically... No, it's cutting in... So what's going on right now is that I'm a little off to the left. So I can just cheat and like look at this. So this is 576. So I did the math wrong twice. Okay. 576. 576. 576. 576. Let me check the other direction. So the third one should be also 288. And the second one is 288. So that all lines up. But it's projecting way off there. It's like it's cutting too early. Are you wrong? Nope, you're matching up. Okay, and second row is like the middle one is 384. That is correct. And this one I can't screw up because it's just that. Huh. That's a little weird. Behold, debugging. Because this should be pulled over more. So what's going on? And I'm going to prove it by doing some texture editing. I'm going to be putting a white line down this side. And this is going to be not on the left side of the screen because it's been pulled over. It's being blitted to the right more. For some strange reason. So yeah. This should be right over here, but it's being moved by this imperceivable amount. Well, not imperceivable. Like a whole tile off. Which is a bit strange that it's lining up correctly. But that shouldn't be. Let's go back into the blitting. I'm gonna squish this over. Go back down here, or up here as it may be. These are all getting put to the same spot. I'm doing silly math, which I knew was going to come back and bite me. Let me think. Actually, no. No. This should be... No, this is a 4x4 grid. This is this grid. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 7, and 6. That is correct. And this one should be... So this is 6. Or no, this is 7. This is 8. This is 9. Which is correct. So 9, 10, 11. Which this is correct. So that's all coming through correct. Based on what's going on. The only thing possibly going weird is me setting up these numbers, but I just verified them. Going to run it again just to make sure I didn't blow everything up. Now it's correct, but now everything's coming through. Okay, cool. There was a number in there that was not correct somewhere. I'm not going to bother figuring it out. Nobody's paying me to do a code autopsy. Post-mortem. We have all that. Let's get back into here and turn off that right wall. Let's see how that looks. Cool. And we could turn off this wall so it's like a T-junction. Whoops, I have this up, so it didn't compile. Even with admin mode, it won't let you touch an exe you have open. Actually, no, to make this a proper T-junction, this would have to be turned on. Okay, cool. Mostly understandable. I think you would have to have the floor and ceiling be a bit different in color or texture, because it's kind of weird right now. I mean, this very much is how old the very old ones looked. I mean, like, I have it up on in here. There wasn't a heck of a lot going on. Okay. Because I don't want to bother making a bunch of things, I'm going to just make everything down here. Int player x equals, well, it shouldn't be 0, but I'm going to make it 0. Player y equals 0. Int dungeon layout. Let's make you 5 by 5. Sure. Okay. 1 will be something is there, otherwise will not. So let's just stick you in the middle. Cool. And I'll just make it a T-junction. Or go to the left right now. So, now that I have this, I have to do fun stuff. By that I mean terrible, ugly code. Void update player dungeon update player dungeon view. So there's 4 directions going on, and I can make this really dumb or really smart. So I have 2 options. Take 4 hours or take a couple seconds. Okay, so we're making a switch case, because that's how I'm going to work off direction. Switch player facing, case 0, case 1, case 2, case 3. Now then. Also, I believe, technically, dungeon view equals 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's... oh, nope, I need 3 more. Did I not do that? Nope, I can't do that. Okay. For int index 0, index is less than 9, index plus plus. Dungeon view index equals 1. So this makes everything a block. It's not going to display for the location you're at, but you're stuck in a block. So for the case of facing up, it should be relatively simple. Oh, I know some ugly thing. This has to... yeah, I have to do some ugly things in this. Oh, I hate switch case syntax in C++. It makes no sense to me. I may not need to do this, but this is the only one that makes sense. So for facing up, it's just streaming in directly off the map. So for index view x or no, for up, sorry. Int view x, and this is going to be set to player x minus 1, and it's going to go to, that needs to be capital. View x is less than player, sorry about that. Okay, and this is going to be less than or equal to player x plus 1, and it's going to be a simple plus plus. Now we need to check to see if it falls off the sides. And I'm hard coding this for each direction because I don't want to do matrix multiplication. It'd make it really simple, but I'm not doing that today. And also, it would still explode if it looked over the edges. Or it'd wrap around weirdly, so I need to take out the edge cases. If view x less than 0, or view x is greater than 5, or 4 actually, continue. For int view y, player y minus 2, very specifically minus 2, so we could forward project up. And let's see. View index equals 0. Very important. That also means I need to do this. So we iterate that. So it's going from the top left to the top bottom. So if it sees that it's out of frame, it still needs to increase the index. It just doesn't do anything because it's already going to show a block there. Anyways, view y plus plus. If view y less than 0, I can't spell. No, that's correct. Why are you yelling? Oh, because view y is less than has to be less than player y. It's less than or equal to player y. Because it comes down here. Okay, anyways. If view y is less than 0, or view y is greater or equal to, or greater than 4. It's going to be the same thing in the end. View index plus plus. Continue. So all this mess does is it makes a doubly nested loop, which is generally bad, but I'm only going to be running this every time I move one step. It's fine. Even then, I could probably be running 20 of these a second, or 200 of these a second. It won't matter because modern hardware. But that is not what you should think of. You should always attempt to be a little bit caring of how much you're destroying the GPU and RAM, especially at today's prices. So what does that mean? That means we can now check the index. So we can look at dungeon, dungeon view index plus plus, because it'll run that and then it'll increment it after the fact. Thank you, C, for being obtuse and weird. But it comes in handy sometimes. So we will run this, and we will look at a dungeon layout, view x plus view y times the width of the dungeon, which is 5. And we're all set. So for this to work in other directions, which is going to suck, is that we basically kind of have to rotate this. Going to the left is easy because it's... no, not quite as much. I would say still, we need to give this a shot to make sure it works. Let's see if it explodes. So we get into here, we set all these up. Did something. That's something I think is wrong. Because as we have this set up... Actually, where are we? We're at... Oh, yeah, okay. We're at 0. We're at 1. We're at 2. So we should be here. So what should be seen is a hallway that goes to the left. But we're seeing a wall. Actually, you know what? We could be interesting and see if this actually fixes anything. Or if our math and display... Oh. Yeah, none of the updates are happening, and this is the default. We're seeing everything is 1. In fact, hello! Welcome to me doing strange, terrible things. I'm trying to make a 3D dungeon crawler. And right now I'm doing the worst way because I don't want to do it right, which will take, a couple hours. I'm trying to split all this information and do some simple... well, let me get this typed in. Index less than 9. Index plus plus. Cout? Standard cout. Yeah, this is C. It's using it, but it's not actually the code because I'm using some of the rendering pipeline. I'm not using the FOV. Because this is a simple 3D dungeon crawler like the old NES ones. Where, like, you have a 3x3 in front of you. Well, technically you're standing on one to see. 1 second. If I turn this off, but I still want to see this. 1 second here. Index plus plus. Oh, I can't spell. I'm reusing the code because I have my basic game rendering and input engine, and I'm not throwing that out. And when I say engine, I mean literally it just takes inputs in like a NES controller, and I'm able to put JPEGs on the screen, and that's all I need. And that it updates every 60th of a second. Okay, so I want to take a look at Dungeon View. Index. After this, I'll show you what it's capable of. You won't see this because this is my debug code, but this runs once. What do you show? Yep, nothing got updated. Okay, cool. That gives me some information to go with. Because the basic setup of this is that I set all these to be 1, so it's blocking. So let me just go back here, turn this off. This isn't exactly how it should be, but it's the very basic, 3D dungeon. Let me just turn some of these off so that it can at least be visually interesting. Oh, I can't do that because this is still running. Bop. So, like, this is looking into a corner. This is looking into a corner that goes on further. And it's all, like, just set up so that I can, like, easily see what's going on. So, yeah. Everything looks good. What's exploding is because I want to be able to move and update this on the fly and not hand code every position and every direction to have its own dungeon set up, or to have its own field of view set up. So I have a dungeon that I have the player right here looking up because 0 is up in this system. So I should be seeing a corner. You know what? In fact, just for giggles, let's have it be like that. Why don't you like that? Okay, you're happy. So in this top level one, let me just go through the logic. First, set all these to 1 because all we're doing is we're going to be copying over the rest of them. And if we're extend outside the bounds of the dungeon, we want to just have those be blocked off. Actually, I'm going to do in here. Fell out on X. And then I pipe in view X. And then I put an end of line here so that it wraps the next one. And we aren't putting on the same line. And we're going to put it on Y. Because I think I messed up something here. And I'm doing something silly. That should be Y. And I'm actually going to put int view check is equal to... Now this is some of the code I showed you because this is my favorite way to turn two-dimensional things into a single index. And I just use it everywhere because it's what I use. I can't spell, whatever. By check, and I want to put a standard cout 5 check, there view check, and we pipe in the value for that, 5 check, and we put in a new line at the end. Bop, bop. But how's your day going to... Whoop, I don't run it. Demonstrous. Boop, boop, boop. No, I am running that. Oh, I'm not running it. Ah, cool. I know how that was. I know how that is. Oh! Oh, we got it working. Kind of. We should be having that be blocked off back there. But... Okay. I don't know how that fixed it. Oh no, it shouldn't be blocked off because you're looking off into the nothingness. Nope. That's not how that should look. Okay, cool. However, I am getting something from this. Check 11, check 12. Okay, let me get this up right here. So, yeah, I realized I didn't do my model on Wednesday, so I had to, like, at 10 o'clock last night, throw this together. Okay. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So this is 0. And this is going to be 24 down here because arrays start at 0. So what I'm getting back from this being checked, I should only be having 9 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do. So I am having 1 be checked, which makes sense. I am having 2 be checked, which makes sense, but not at the location I'd expect it to be. For reference... This is the checklist I'm having. It's going 1, 6, 11. So this should be moving around the top row because I'm doing the X first and then I'm doing the Y's. Something's a little funky. Let's go back into here. Oh, back into here. So we're doing X first. We're going from player -1 and player starting out at 2. So it should be 1. And then we're iterating through player -2. So this should be 0 the entire way on this first... Oh! Oh, I see what's going on. I'm doing it backwards. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's inverting the screen. Okay. Ignore me for a second. Let me just fix this up. Because the code is very sensitive to the way it's going in this. So what it was doing before, just to explain. Oh, I still have this up. My bad. So to explain this is that the view side of this is expecting top left, or this one, this one, this one, this one, to this one, this one, in that order in how it's going to display things. What I had, even though I was looping on X's first, so my naive assumption was like, okay, it goes through this, then it goes through this. But I had the inner loop be on the Y's. So what happened is that it's like, I'm on this row right here. So it goes down this row first, resets up here, goes down this row, and then goes down this row. So what I had to have was the Y's iterating, going first from this to here, then doing the left to right, so that it matches up how the display expects it to be shown. And this should be fine, because I just basically swapped those two. And it doesn't matter at this point whatever runs first. What it matters is how it jumps out. Okay, so this should be correct now. For this direction only. And it is... Is it correct? Because I'm seeing something over here. The numbers are right in there. The dungeon says that I shouldn't have... I should have something over here. It is doing all this correct, though. Debugging. I only wanted to do a short stream, like a 4-hour stream today, so... I'm not going to be doing it too long, but... I'm going to at least get this figured out. At the very least, I want to be able to move a square and turn one direction. So if I get, like, the left or right turning down, I think I'm fine. So... One second. That's a good cough. Let's pipe in what the value is. Let me put up something here so I can actually tell. And see what's going on. Okay, cool. So I am getting, let me back this up. Oop. At 1, I am getting a 1, so like that. At 2, excuse me, at 2, I'm getting this. At 3, I'm getting this. So these are all being registered at walls, which they are. At 6, I am getting this as a 0. 7, I'm getting a 0. At 8, I am getting a wall. This is all lining up exactly to where it should be. Remember, we're right here. 9, we're getting that. 0. Yeah, it's like the last iteration is... Or what? No, that's not 9. It's 10. So... Nope, it's 11. What am I saying? 11? 13 is where we're having weird stuff. No, this is just a grid of the map. This is just me trying to figure out what's exploding on this map. So we are here, right here on this. And what the code is bringing back at some debug is that it is seeing this is a wall. All these coordinates are walls. This is open. This is open. This is open. But when you run it, as we can see, actually, I don't know if you'll see this if I run it. But what we're getting when we run this is that this is an open spot over here. So it's not being filled in, even though the rest of them are being filled in. which is causing me to expect that I have an off by one error somewhere in my code. And it's exiting early. So I'm thinking... Okay, so we have player X at 2, so this would be 1, which is expected. And then... No, it actually gets all the way down here, so it should be popping this in correctly. And it is putting 8 as... Do I just not have the... Did I... Oh, I never checked that side, did I? 1 second. So... In our renderer... Render background stuff... Ah! That's the mistake. Off by 1. I was reading into bad data because the end of a 9 length array is 8, not 9. This is fixed. Behold, it's fixed. I'm going to do a really dumb way to have this do something. So, if... One sec. I need to figure out how I used to do this stuff. So test loop, we have the polls up here. Top heartbeat. Okay, cool. Am I doing top heartbeat down here? I am not. Okay. So let's do top heartbeat. If main controller, because this is something I have set up already, which is a bit of oh god why code, so I'm going to show it. So main controller is a struct that has integers for action, cancel, up and down. I just have it made as a controller, and this is the update function, where I get the status of every single key on a keyboard as defined by SDL2. And I get that, and I just literally iterate through key codes for the states, and if they're correct, and if I see them for it or it's alt, I add +1. And then I increase this by 0. So this technically, very technically means if you hold down a key for whatever the frames for an integer, you can overflow it to 0 and it'll stop. So I know I have an inherent bug, and I have to manually repeat this for the rest of them because I'm not doing silly iterations through some sort of structure to point at this. But yes, good wet code that's just copy and pasted everywhere. Good stuff. Anyways, main controller dot up. Yeah, if it's equal to mod by like 32,000, this will player y minus minus. Else if main control dot down, player y plus plus, because top left is 0 0, and that's the reason why going down is increasing your y value. Welcome to cathode displays. So if I hit the up key, oh wait, I don't have it actually update anything. So I need to have it update the dungeon. No, probably not. This is just casual because I need to figure out how the heck to do this if I ever want to do it later. But right now there's no plan to it, though I have had in the past. Effectively, what is the idea of a 3D first-person dungeon crawler that is literally just a troll game? Okay. Kind of working. It's probably dying because we're wrapping around there. So for one thing, I'm going to put a 0 down here just to see if we can back up right. And we can't. Oh, wait. We're going too fast. That's why. I made the mistake. So I modulosed it, and the trick to modulosing it was to make it equal 1 so that I only see the first frame of the button being pressed. So I'm throwing myself out of bounds and the code's coping, which is good. This is working going backwards. That's how I expect it to look. This is not what I expect to look up there. I expect my face to be against a wall. Weird. Thank you. This isn't much of it. I mean, I do other stuff for pixel art too. I mean, the monsters can attest. I whip together like pixel art VTuber models in like 8 hours. I don't sell them when I do them at 8 hours. I plan to do them in like about 16-ish. 12 to 16, because after the 8-hour mark, it's kind of diminishing returns, but I do need like the 4 hours of tweaking in order to get it to work correctly. Do I shield the VGen here? I have a VGen linked from my Twitter. Okay, one second. I'm going to clear the screen so I can get some actual output on this. But yeah, I've been doing like pixel art kind of seriously for the past couple years. Anyways, so I hit forward. And now it fell out on y-1, which is what I expected to. So... Oh, I know what's going on. Okay. I'm going to teach this. So I'm naively... This is dumb. So this is perfect. This is what I do best. So you see I'm doing a view index plus 1. That only increases it by 1 and then it continues through. So it doesn't do the rest of these. So what is going on is that I'm pressing my face up against this wall. It's falling out here. And over here, this is the view port that is like keeping all the data. So when it's like this, everything is lining up. So it's going like, hey, 0. Okay, we're seeing stuff in there. Okay, this is green. Oh, we're seeing a wall here. We're seeing a wall here. We're seeing a wall here. Everything's hunky-dory because you're like that. And it checks each one. So when we move up 1, it's checking out of bounds. And it's only blitting increase the index by 1. So now it's pointing to here. And it starts iterating through. And it starts putting this in. And even though this should be the top, should be like right here. It's right here. And then it goes 0, 0 because I did not fill out pad the rest of the area. So this should be plus equals 3. While the finer one should be just like that. This probably makes sense to no one, but watch this. Look, it works. The fact that the system copes with it is really good though, because it means I don't have to worry about random crap. But now I can move up and down. Now I need to just figure out how to properly turn. And I'm only going to focus on turning left. And in order to turn left, I have to have the facing work with that. So I'm going to go down to 3 because left is 3. Because I'm doing modulus math. Whenever I turn clockwise, it's going to increase it by 1. So this is up. This is right, this is down, and this is the left. So when I turn right, it increases the facing number by 1. And then it wraps around on 4. So it'll go back to 0 by modulus math. On turning left, it would be decreasing this by 1 and wrapping around the other way. So we get down to here. So this is going to be interesting. So now, if I am facing left, like say like this is a proper thing. If I am facing left, I'm going to be looking this direction. I know, shocker, facing left means you face left. But what this means for the display, because the display does not give a care about which direction you're facing, it's outputting it to the screen at the same way. So how this needs to map now is that this top cell down here is this one down here. So these two need to match up. Currently the code goes down like this. And then this one needs to match this one. So what needs to happen is that the code goes this way through it. So we need to start at the player Y index as though if it was the X minus 1 and go through like that. So we kind of have this set up. And I'm just going to flip it. Because it's going to work. Because I know this direction would set up like this. Which is why I'm not turning right. Because right becomes a little weird. At least I think right becomes a little weird. Anyways, let's just see how badly this looks in the end. Getting all my debug in there. So this is turning to Y's now. The real... yeah, my throat is dying because I haven't done this for 2 weeks. The real way to do this is to do matrix math, multiplication. And that would make it like easy if you actually know matrix math, which I don't. Because I'm a scrub programmer who doesn't do math. I bash my head against problems until they work. Because I can debug them for hours. I don't need to do anything else down here. So, over here, I'm going to add a new thing. If main control... Oops, I have this wrong. Main controller dot left. Do this mod stuff in here. Equals 1. Because C++ does negative modulus, which is silly. If player facing equals 0, player facing equals 3. Otherwise, else player facing minus minus. Doing it the other way makes sense. Else, if main controller dot right on not mod equals. That's the wrong function. 3200 equals 1. We could just do proper modules because we could do player facing plus plus player facing mod 4 or mod equals 4. Like the math makes it easier, but you don't really need to. Okay. And then we do player updates. No, what are you doing? I love all the key commands when you fat finger it and you do something you don't expect. It's awesome. What's going on? Yeah. Oh, wait. I didn't put an equals 1 in here, did I? No? If I comment this all out, Do I return to the static "it was working" screen? Okay. Oh, okay, something's exploded. Let me take a look to make sure I didn't mess up the map at all. I have, beyond there, I'm at 2-2. So, I'm going to also put into... Let me close that down for a second. Update dungeon view. I'm going to have at the end of this. Oh, I know what's happening. Cases are terrible in this. I need a break at the end. So what's happening is that it's running this, and then it's getting all the way down to the bottom and running the other... Wait, didn't I just... Oh, I didn't copy it. I still need to do this, though. This is what I get for, So I need to invert this back to Y's and see how badly it breaks. I went at this as if I moved it. I did not, in fact, move it. So I went and discussed how it will work. And I think it was actually correct from that view, which is a good thing. So the other part of a dungeon crawler would be, actually encountering stuff and having, dialogues pop up. Probably won't get to that. As I said, this is a casual little thing because I've never done this before and I've always wanted to. So I may or may never return to it, but in this state, it's going to be a little iffy. Okay, cool. Let me clear this out so I can see what the top is without being confused. So I have a mismatched key somewhere. Okay, what did I miss? Oh, I duplicated one extra. There we go. Did I mention I hate switches in C++? I find them really bad. They have an interesting format that does not conform to anything else in it. You know what? I'm going to try these without actually having the... Because I'm not declaring... the problem is you can't declare variables unless you wrap them in this nonsense. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, one second. First, I need to move this down here. Okay. Bop. So get rid of that one. Or no, we get rid of this one. Whoop. I'm less keeping my mind sharp and doing autopilot there. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of the second one and reduce... Actually, wait. What are you matching to? What the heck are you matching to? Okay, I have an extra one up here then. So you're matching to that. You're matching to that. All's hunky-dory. So down here, you match to that. So you match to that. And you match to nothing. My day job involves me with Lisp. How can you tell? Okay. Yeah, I am going to strip this out. Actually, no. I didn't end the switch case. That's why. That's what the purple one is. It's just on the wrong line. Yep, there we go. Oh. Okay, now let's go back into Heartbeat and turn back on our functions. Our ability to move. Left isn't working at all, that's funny. Okay. Did I just not put the update on the left facing? No? Interesting. Let me try this again. Yeah, it's not updating at all. All the other directions are doing weird stuff. Oh, that's why. It's equals. There we go. C++ lets you shoot yourself in the foot like that. Okay, now I can turn left. But, let me... It's inverted on the... I need to flip around how it reads through the y-axis because it's inverted. Because this should be on this side, not on this side. How do I know that? Usually I don't. Okay. So, what we do on moving through the Ys is that we put this at player +1 and is greater or equal, is... Let me think before I blow my foot off. So we are starting at 1. And we're moving down, and we're moving up by moving down. Lovely. So we want to start at player +1, and then we want to iterate down. So we want to be greater or equal to -1, and we want to decrement. That means that this would probably work on the other side. Look, it's correct. The ugliest of code. Running at 60 frames a second, I believe. Or 30. It's whatever I picked when I set this up. Okay, I might as well do all directions, and then I can fiddle together a little maze. So, this will be roughly what we need for looking right. For this one, looking right, let me back this up. No, that can be there. I'll just use pink for this. So for looking right, we are like this. And this top one needs to match up with this. And this one needs to match up with this. So we're going to need to decrement on the X side. So X minus. And we're going to need to increment on the Y side. with the y pretending to be the x's for up here. So first off, we're projecting +2 out. And this has to be greater or equal to player X, and we're going to minus. And the Y value is going to increment. So we're going to be -1, less than or equal to +1, plus. This is dirty, dirty, wet code. I am repeating myself a lot. The thing is, I can't actually check because the up and down only move my Y range. So I can't even like hit back and move. I can fix that shortly. But okay, that's working. This isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I guess let this be a lesson. Don't assume how terrible the code is going to be. Okay, for the final trick, is I'm going to look down. And this one needs to match up to this one. And this one needs to match up to this one. So that means that we're going to decrement on the x minus, and we're going to decrement on the y, so y minus. And we're going to need to project out 2y. So I think I can just reuse this chunk without flipping it around. Okay, so we have to decrement on the y. So we have to increment on this, so plus y, and this becomes greater than. And we need to decrement on the y, on the x. So once again, flip that around. This will be really dim. Okay. It's not working for looking down. How can I tell this? Because it's just putting me in the block. And also I'm seeing a bunch of ones. Okay. So looking down, we are starting at y plus 2, down like this. There is a, okay, so there's an acronym in programming called DRY, which is don't repeat yourself, because repeating yourself in code means that when you have to make a change, you have to make a change to all those places, or you introduce a bug. So you generally want to have a function that does what you're repeating. Just so you can make sense of that. Okay. I'm repeating myself in variant little ways because it's all the same code. I'm just changing directionality of how it's iterating through things. But actually, let me look at some of that output. Let me clear this. Okay, I turned right. That's fine. I turned down. Everything becomes 1. So it's view checking on 2318. Yeah, that's fine. But everything is 1s. And it shouldn't be. It's not falling out anywhere. It falls out there, but it's not getting any proper numbers in. So I think I'm exiting early because I'm only getting three of them going in. Oh, that's why. Because this is equal, so it's jumping out early. This should have been -1. As I said, wet code. Aha! Look at that. Okay, let me put in the tank controls. What I mean by let me put in the tank controls, void dungeon forward, void dungeon backward, void dungeon left. This should really be like in top. That's where I put all, like, you know, the logic stuff, but don't care. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decouple this from here, and I'm just going to throw it into this. No, voids are virtual birds. Shift tab, you're my friend. Okay. Dungeon left. Dungeon right. Did I get these backwards? Nope, I am correct. Okay, I'm not going to have any checking right now for collision. I can put that in later. So I'm just going to, once again, switch. Player facing. Case 0. If I was doing this correctly, I'd actually have a... Do I actually, though? I do. Yeah, okay, so I have these cardinal. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. So I can just name it like this so it's easier and everybody knows what's going on. I forgot. I didn't have it for a while. So player Y minus minus, player X plus plus, player Y plus plus, player X minus minus. Amazingly difficult. And then we update player dungeon view. And then we do the copy paste because it's horrible, and I just invert everything. And I have a basic dungeon crawler code, which is all I wanted to do today. So I have like, maybe I might call it early. I need to do stuff. I've been laid up all like last week and week before, so. So the real question is, can I stick my nose in here? Kind of. It's like it turned me. Oh, wait. I didn't actually move these. It kind of helps if you put your tank controls in your control method. Okay. Ah, look at it. Look at it being consistent. Okay, let's make a maze. And technically, because I could see off screen, it doesn't matter if I do it like that or not. And if everything's correct, it won't matter that there's this block in the way because it's going to, or that these would be counted because this block would cover the other one because that's what the sprites are set up to do. Let's get lost in a maze. Okay, yeah, it's acting a little... No, that's actually how it should be. It's a little jarring when it disappears, but... If I were actually making this a proper game, I'd have like a transition bar and it'll draw both at once. Big room is working. Cool. The power of not giving a crap about the quality of your code, but just enough to be dangerous. Well, I mean, I am giving a little bit of care. Just, as I said, just enough to be dangerous. If I give no care about the quality, I can't reuse any of it, and I wouldn't have gotten this far. This looks so weird, but it makes perfect sense. How I would add collision is that I would just... Nope, this is C++. This is raw C++ of SDL2 because I haven't been bothered to figure out how to move all my stuff to SDL3 because it was a pain in the butt to get 2 set up on this rig. Because I'm not good at setup. That's why I programmed in Python for so long. Because I fight Godot. I used Godot before. I did a 7-day roguelike twice in it. But when I have to like spend 20 minutes setting up flipping 2 pings, or like I could animate this all in like 5 seconds. Like, and have it like say which one it should be putting in there. But if in Godot, I would have to make an animator on the prefab in order to have that object switch between 2 things every couple seconds. And it's just so much overhead for what I'm doing. And in this, like, the only thing I miss from Godot is like having like some simple physics checks, but once I get them written, I could just port them over to my other things. And I'm just usually working in a tile-based roguelike or turn-based game format. So all that stuff is overhead. Like, oh, it's painful to do that. Yeah, but I'm not doing real 3D. If I was doing real 3D, I'd agree with you, but I'm just faking it. And all I'm doing is reading this. This is the dungeon. This is all I need to care about. And I can recontextualize how it's displayed by updating over here. Like, 1 second. Like, I would say if you're a beginner, yes, do that in there. In here, I just have these. And it's only reading it as a Boolean, but I could expand that. But I could also just have this simple enough. Like, take this sprite sheet here. And expand it down forever. I mean, I could. I mean, I have up on my site, on my itch.io, I did for Linux. He had a birthday, so I made him, do I have the... Yeah, let me just... 1 second. 1 second. I probably have the main still, so I can just run it and display it. Gotta be old. There it is. Yes. I just have to rename this to be... It's still main.exe. I didn't have it. Okay. Worked on this. This has been within the stream, so in 2.5 hours. Though this is just not including the time I took to set up the main engine. Is it displaying? Oh, it's not capturing it because it's called something else. 1 second. Where are you? I'm going to screw this up for the bit. Visual Studio. Where are you? Screen chat, STL capture. Okay. Here we go. So this one I did a bit ago. It's reusing most of the tools. And I did this for, I think, Lenny's birthday. This should actually, I think, auto-iterate. Yeah, scribble. Yeah. But Lenny is a space captain, so Space Captain Lennox attempts to get to the space station, blah blah blah, in the Dawnbringer, and was hit by meteorites, knocking him out of FTL drive and automated systems. Luckily, blah blah was close, and he has a hyperspace link directly to that. Yada yada. Oh yeah, he's doing a first-person shooter. He's doing that in Godot, which I recommend for him because I don't want him to try and figure out how to write stuff to screen unless it's all billboarded. But anyways, so here's the game I did for him. It's it is unironically Desert Bus to wherever. And this is all being done in SDL2. I wanted to add more stuff to it, but like all projects, I rush to get it done, and then I just can't be arsed to work on it more. But the whole gimmick of this game is that is literally... Oh, there goes the instructions. I wanted to have more stuff like that randomly pop up. But it's Desert Bus, but with more features. And I think it actually does take 8 hours to get from one side to the other. And you can crash and all that. I just want to do this for a bit till like some of the Easter eggs pop up. Because you pass by stuff on the side and like there's another ship that will go by that's faster than you. But you have a slight lean to the right. Oh, I have one. Oh, look, there's a piece of space debris. No, I have a degree. I have like a bachelor in networking. I have a bachelor in networking because the real computer science degree required too much math. Oh, yeah. It bumps up. But I have a degree in networking computing because that's what I had to do. I didn't have to do that much for it. I just had to take the networking class and make some networking apps. Back in Z-Day. And I think I just did them in Java. But, yeah, Demonstrous, like, yeah, when's your birthday? You actually have a birthday. Because let me put something down. I'm not saying that I'll make an entire game for you. But, it's dangerously close. I may make a game for you. But yeah, I whipped this up in like, I think, this was a 6-hour sprint because I had so much trouble getting the like graphics to work correctly. And have like the stuff float by at intervals that were actually interesting. But yeah, like I can crash this. And it will drag you all the way back to the space station. But this is like the stuff I game jam. But so yeah, I can make a dungeon crawler and like maybe a proper one now that I have more of it figured out. And like, oh look, there's a spaceship. And it gets slower as it gets closer to you because I did stupid math to figure that out. But yeah, you're supposed to, unironically, you're supposed to just occasionally hit the left key every 8 hours or so, or every once in a while. Then it's like it's 8 hours to get to the other end. I have not properly tested to see if it is 8 hours, but the math should work out. And yeah, this is the sort of junk I do for giggles because I can. Most of the time spent on it was getting the stuff to fade in correctly because I don't have bitmaps. Which is to say, when a sprite is further away, it's using a different sprite texture so that you can see what's going on. And as it gets closer, it uses the more detailed ones. I just had to figure out the math for it to be slightly to the left and right of stuff. So all the space debris kind of comes in and like it follows a proper line to go through. And the stars are actually randomized. And the joke is, I haven't done it, is that you get to the space station and it will flip it around and the stars will still match up correctly. Because I randomized them and I saved them into an array. So it will just like do a 180 by moving all the way over to the right side. And then I think flipping it. Or no, to the right side so that it'll be a new set of stars, but it saved the old one. And yeah, I added a little bit of sound effects. April 15th, I'll take that down. April. Well, and as you see, I actually got like sound in this, because it isn't that hard to add with STL2. Oh no, I think that was my main pain, was getting STL sound to work. I mean, April 1st is my anniversary as always, but it's like... you know me. You know the bullshit I will just do on a giggle. You just need to look at my Twitter and see the random videos I make, which are like 4-hour sprints to just do stuff. So, like, unironically, me making a dungeon crawler, a very simple one, is not the worst lift for me. Because I've done worse in making those stupid trailers and stuff. Alright, let me just close this down so that I can get this back up. And I think I might call it in a minute. I'm hitting about 3 hours. And I'll reclaim my day. But I got this done, and I'm happy with that. Let me just recapture it again. There we go. But yeah, full dungeon. It works. I can probably reuse chunks of this code for other stuff. I mean, in a more terrible thing, I could just make a Digimon Dungeon Crawler. Not Digimon. A Demonstramon Dungeon Crawler. Actually, I need to put this up because she actually showed it off. So, Dolly Mimiko had a donathon. It got sadly interrupted because she got sick and then got rear-ended, and there's just a lot going on in her life. She showed this one off. The Dalgachi. There it is. Like this I whipped up in... Nope, it's not showing up. No. There we go. This was another one I did a little bit of a sprint on. Because, besides... The graphics is probably... And the... yes. The graphics aren't... I had to work on getting the Tamagotchi form to work for her. But, like... And having all this sort of, like, little interaction things. These are actually random. She hates Pop-Tarts. Or, I mean, hates Hot Pockets, and so that was a Hot Pocket. But, it's running off of the basic rules. And that one I had to flip and, put her in a chair and all that. There's like a set of 3 of them, and I should upload this. I said I was going to, but things happen. And it's not going to be hard to upload. I just need to do that. Can I get the special one? Probably not. Please. Because as I said, there's 3 of them, and I think... Is it a 1 in 100? I don't remember. Anyways, back to this one. But I can just program simple things. The real problem is the asset fill. My god, does the asset fill and actually adding stuff to it kill any project I do. Which is why I do 7-day roguelikes, and I can do them consistently. And I can get in... Actually, 1 second. This is my roguelike for this year. I hope it is. Okay, that's the prep folder. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. It should be in here. I probably should have... I think I No, did I actually name it? Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, give me 1 second to figure out where it is. Legend of... Is it this one? No, that's me turning into an engine. Did I delete it? I would be mad if I deleted it. There it is. Here it is. So, this is the one that I made on my 7-day roguelike. Oh, Demon... Oh, wait a second. Okay. It feels weird being over here. Okay. Oh, and this thing's huge. Okay. I was like, why are you feeling... Oh, he's minutes behind. He must have been hit by an ad. But this is the roguelike I made this year. Actually, let me move myself over. I feel terrible over here. And this is 7 days of work. I mean, I have it all up on my channel. And this is me going full ham. On, like, spriting and all that. I don't think it came out the best. But generally, I learned some stuff from it. And this is where I got my engine mostly set up from. So most of the gimmick of this is that enemies show intent. Potassium. Like, there's multiple biomes in this, too. It's just like the balance is thrown all out the window. Because, you know, the balance is thrown all out the window. And I love the, like, you move and you have the dust cloud behind you because it just adds so much more motion. Like this one right here, he's saying he's going to throw a rock there. And it'll show that it does a hit action, and that can hit other enemies. But the gimmick of this one was that I was making this to be like, you know, Slay the Spire. I mean, it's Dive the Inverted Tower. And it, like, it has bosses. It has a couple bosses. But yeah, here's the thing. You get to, like, choose stray breakables like jars in one hit and get extra drops. Someone else's braid. After taking damage in 3 turns, gain 10 attack. Because that's literally a Metal Gear Rising joke. Let's take that. Explosive bomb. And like, yeah, you can use this so I can like throw this right over here. And then it'll explode and do damage and all that. The graphics are simple because I wanted to keep them simple, mono colored with, you know, black and one other color. Let me just rush through because the bosses, as always, I spend too much time on them. Like everything here is like it has two actions. The bosses are literally, oops. The bosses are quite literally phase-based. In that they have, like, a tree of how they act. Okay. Let me just get to one real quick. But yeah, I did some thinking of how I want this to be before, and then I just, sat there for multiple hours at a time. I was doing 2 streams a day at this because I wanted a lunch break, but I was trying to do 2 4-hour streams. I mean, I have no problem doing like 8-hour streams when I do pixel art, but yeah, that was that one. And I can't rush to the boss because I bounced everything, so I'd actually have to play the game. Either way, I have made this, which is, the colors don't make sense, but the geometry does. So I'll probably reuse this later for when I do something, but, yeah. That reminds me, I should get the Dolly thing up. She might appreciate, having that go up, because I said I would. I just have been forgetting and doing a bunch of other things. Like, readjusting my VGen prices, because, well, I haven't been selling anything, and, saw like the prices of some of the lower end VTuber, full VTuber models. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty close to that. That's not where I want to be. Because I want to literally be low end. Hey, you want to have a gimmick for like a month? A couple $100 isn't too bad for that. Or like reuse them later. So I readjusted those. And also I recalculated how long it takes me to do them. And the math mostly works out. If I get to full time, I might have to change it, but that's that. I have to get the sprite ones up because those have been rotting in the backlog, but this entire month has been on fire. Literally at this point, but yeah. So maybe I'll get to that this afternoon. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to go get myself some lunch. So thank you for joining the stream. I do use, as I said, I do programming occasionally. In March, during the 7-day roguelike, I will do a week of streaming and change. Oh, I have one sale. Before I had the VGen up, I got a sale from Alvi. I can't remember his full name. I just remember his Alv, who uses my model occasion, or uses the model I make, pretty much full time for it. I haven't seen him switch back to his other ones. But hello, Thune. Let me show you. This is what I have for the actual dungeon crawler. I went into some other things, but I have the ability to show the map. But yeah, I haven't got any bites yet on there because, yeah. But yeah. The one time I did get it was when I made the one ad for New Year, New You, which basically put it at about the price point that he said, like, why not? So maybe I should just stick at that. I will probably do a discount on, like, you know, the New Year's again and see what I get, but we'll see how it has to go. If I have to lower it, I might have to rethink some things, or I just have to get faster. I've been listening to a lot of people talk about, like, if you're an unknown artist, it's like, yeah, you're selling below market value, and you can't sustain yourself on it, so who knows? I just want to get stuff out to people who don't want to pay a lot, which is a current thing going on. So I reevaluated it, but I've been wanting to drop the price for a while because I'm not getting any bites. And after seeing the low end of proper VTuber models, I'm like, because What I priced at was how I would have to live currently right now at the estimated about 20 hours of working on it. And looking at, because I looking at what pixel models go for. Like a proper pixel model is 1K. That's what I see everywhere. Full getting it done and then getting it rigged was about 1K for the people I know. Like the one that's done Shoto's pixel model and Sayu's pixel model. They're about 1K, if not a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, they're established, they're well known. Let me half that, let me look at how long it takes, and let me just price it at, like, at something above that, but yeah. Oh, cool. That is perfectly fine. Also, what I want to do, Demonstrous has seen it, and I think that Thune has seen it. Or, here, I can't pronounce it. Was me trying to do a full thing of, like, Dizzy. And, like, just do it in anime studio style, i.e. pixel art, and then you run a blur over it. Not kidding. It's actually smoother, but I can't find it. And because I wanted to get practice on doing full rigging. Because I rig my models besides the whole blinking stuff as if it's a normal VTuber model. So I wanted to get some practice in there so I could rightfully say it, do it as... Okay. I need to do at least 3 attempts to figure out how long it takes me to do stuff. And then once I know how long it takes me to do stuff, I can give a fair pricing. Because otherwise, right now, it would be like the same pricing as my full model, or full pixel model, because it takes me about just as long to do that. Though it might take me a little bit longer on a, just doing the rigging on a full actual VTuber model. So I want to get that out there, and I also need to get I need to make the little movies for the sprite models I have done. And I have like 3 of them set up. I have the animation file. I just need to open them up in Cubism and get them to wiggle a bit with a background and foreground and all the information on there. And it's just, it takes me like 3 or 4 hours to it takes me about 2 hours to properly do one of them. And it just sucks. And I haven't been able to just set out all the time because I still have to do chores on the weekend, and weekdays basically murder me. When I'm not doing stuff like, hey, why don't I just make an entire bad joke? Like I have 7 written down right now that I want to get to. I do need to do the Aqua Achi. I do need to do... I want to do the Kimara... Or... The Chimera, which Demonstrous would know. She said she was fine with having something a little rather spicy, and I have an idea to do that. I just have not gone to drawing it for my other account. And I want to do the Skyline Abuse Goblin. And I want to do a Skylar Death Metal model. Pixel model. On my own time. And then I have a few other ones that I'll just leave in the background, but I don't have enough time. It's literally, I don't have enough time and to do this without turning myself into Jello. Yeah. The Aqua one, I can actually show it. No, actually it's in a different folder structure. I have to look at it, but anyways. Once again, I wish to go and eat burger. Actually, no. Oh, no, I'm eating the Baconator, so I don't have to worry about getting a parasite. Haha. Yeah, life has been interesting in the past few weeks. So yes, I am going to go and eat a Baconator and maybe some fries for once. Well, Baconator Jr., I don't need the full thing. And then I'm going to actually eat something good this evening. Like, actually... Oh, I have to throw out that old casserole. I should probably be making good casserole. I will enjoy the burger for you. But for now, I'm going to wrap up. I said this is going to be short. I'm going to make a little GIF of this and post it to the Twitter. Because I need to be posting there more. Because I am a terrible salesperson, given... Which is doubly funny, because whenever I try to shill stuff, I do shill with Scrib as some sort of used car salesman. Because that's just funny to me, and I have to make it amusing, or else I don't do it. I'm looking over here at my list of, like, make ad stuff, and it's not great. But yeah, Demonstrous, your sprite is on the list for ones I have to make in there. I have, like, 7. And 7 times 2 is not a good thing to look at, and I just haven't been I haven't put in away time to get it done. But that's what it's looking like to at least do it for the rest of today. Unless I do one of the side projects that don't give me money. Because I'm dumb. And that's what I do to myself. Anyways, thank you very much for joining. It has been a rather successful make basic old school dungeon crawl. The only thing that this is missing is doors. That said, there's 2 type of doors in old dungeon crawls. Ones that lead to a room that doesn't actually exist in the map and you do stuff in there, and ones that actually move you to another part of the dungeon, which is you actually have to make a door. If I make every sort of door just be one that puts you into a room that doesn't actually exist, like a shop, I don't need to worry about doing stuff. I just need to worry about putting in a new thing that can say, this is shop and this is where the door goes. But that's neither here nor there. Thank you very much for joining. I don't do programming streams that often. I probably should do more of them. I consider doing them during the week to actually get programming projects done, but all is fire. Anyways, thank you very much. Have a good day. If you would... Oops, that's the wrong thing. If you'd like a pixel model or... Oh, actually, wait. Well, wait. I can do this. No, wait, I didn't save it. Oh, crap. Let me just go to the Twitter. I didn't save the Ace sprite. As you can tell, I am very well put together. I am totally and always having a plan and following it. Okay, I'll call this shield.ping. Okay, now I'm in storage. Now I'm in ref for stream. Now I'm finding shield.ping. And everybody's most terrible worry. There we go. There we go. That's proper. Whoop. I'm showing all the sausage, but literally that's what I do. There we go. Yes. If you would like pixel art or pixel models, go to VGen, scribble in dark. Once again, go to the VGen, scribble in dark. Yeah, it is. As I said, I've dropped it a bit. I dropped it to the price point where people actually bought it. So maybe that is the tipping point. I just have to get faster. And then I make more money. I don't want to say it like that, but I like to pay my bills. Not that it's part-time right now, so I can cheat the heck out of myself. And also, if you notice, I have dropped my pixel/low resolution illustrations. And I literally did that because I hate how VGen works. I'm not leaving yet because I get to rant about VGen. VGen requires you to itemize everything to such a degree that I'm uncomfortable not including every little option in there. Like my VGen has option for the illustration one, option for making the background be animated, which is like a 10% increase, which I hate because there's different types of animation you can do. But if I want to have like flickering lights and like neon signs in the background, I have to have it that way. If you want to have, like 3 birds fly across the screen, I would do that for free because that's simple to do. But under VGen, I can't really negotiate that and put it in there. So I have to put in there as a price increase. Also, I have to put in there sprite animation. Like what I did for Bio, where he didn't even say animate him. It's like strike a pose. And like, okay, I'll have him strike a pose and I'll animate them. I did that for free because otherwise it was very simplistic across the entire thing. And I felt bad, which is a terrible thing to do for your business, but I like to over deliver. That's the whole point of keeping your customer happy, is you over deliver your product and under promise. So I like to do the little extras. So I animated all those things. You know what? Actually, let me bring it in. Because I have that, because I keep a commission folder in case their computer explodes. And yep, okay. This is the one. Like half my wanting to do this is like I feel bad for the people who get screwed over, and I feel bad for the people who want to get into this. Because there should be people like me who do the lower price point. Like, I do quality work. It's just like I don't do quality work for 4 months. I do quality work for 2 days. And then I hand you over something and then we revise it. But yeah, like this was at my old price of like $40, I think it was. $45. But it would not be at that price if I was doing it under VGen because I have multiple characters, I have animation, and I have like sprite characters be at like plus $2. But like, look at this background. There's nothing going on in it. I did that up in like 2 minutes. It's like, I did the animations because it adds to it. But in there in the VGen, like in order to get up to this, I think it would still be lower. But to be honest, given that it's a simple background, I don't care. If it's a really complex background, I'd have to like negotiate some things. Like, oh, actually, let me go into the other thing. The only other person who who did stuff with me. So this is from Lenny, and he wanted a into the void. He wanted a game over screen. So he sent me over, and I did this in like, I think the only reason I didn't get it done that night, well, no. The BO one, the only reason I didn't get that done that night was because I did the Skylar type thing, and I had done that for a bit. This one, I think I got done in like 2 hours, maybe. I did, like do the standard, like I have to go back and look at it and fiddle with it while I look at some, like while I watch TV, well, YouTube, in order to get like all the like little stuff in there, like to make sure it looks better. Because the one thing that I have problems with, and you'll notice a few of the stuff I post has errors on it because I don't put it down for like a day or two and then come back to it and do like minor revisions because I haven't been looking at it for 2 hours and can no longer notice any problems. It's very apparent. Like the Mocha one I did the other week, I forgot to put bows on her sleeves. That's a kind of key component for being cute. And with the MIDI one, I forgot the armband she has. It's like the little details I miss out on, and I get like the majority of them, but I don't catch it when I do it in an 8-hour stream. Yeah, anyways. Pop. Okay, you can live here now, shield.ping. I need to actually... one last thing, one final thing. So anyways, I lowered these because I have a lot of options in there for doing additional things. And I would like it to be that way because technically, I hate to put the sausage out, but technically the options are faster to do than the entire model itself. So I get a little bit more of margin of actually, it's a better cost to me. It's a better cost to time ratio. But the options don't come along unless you're doing the rest of the stuff. And not to say that I'm gouging on it, I'm just saying that, like, I can't price them correctly under VGen. So I want to have the model be lower so that the options make more sense. So if that gets people in the door, fine. For me to properly do this as a business, I need to have a proper audience or clients that come back to me. And then maybe at some point I have to raise the price because that just has to happen. Or I get faster. That's the other way. That's the thing that a lot of artists don't do, that I feel is a problem with artists, is that they only work on stuff when they feel like it, that they have the mood for it, which is not a professional way to go about it. A lot of the artists out there, I hate to say, even though they do get paid, work as an amateur. They work on their own schedule that does not usually work within the deadline and getting stuff done, and they get interrupted a lot. Like, if I was doing this full time, I would literally be not working off my main machine if I could help it. I would be working in the office, and I would just not be having like YouTube videos in the background, and I'd be listening to music or long form. Hey, here's how this is made. Like the sort of things I don't have to actually pay attention to while working. Those are fine. But the stuff I may want to pay a little bit of attention to, that has to be stuff on my own time, which is not being paid for. Or I have to say that, yes, I'm going to watch a YouTube while I do this, because Lord help me, I need to watch this today. And then I have to go with that this is going to take 2 to 4 times as long. Like, you could do it. You just have to make sure you slot all your time into it. And as I said, I need to do stuff at least 3 times to get how long it takes me to do something. Then I could fit it into my week. Like with comms, when I was doing it before, I could fit 2 hours to the end of my day, which I would tweak the rigging on for the one comm for a model I did, or for well, the BO one I just smacked out like literally the next day, so I had time to do it because, as I said, it was simple. And for Lenny, I think I did that over like a week because I did not have good chunks of like 2 hours. So I got the base one done like right after he said he wanted me to do it. So I got the base in there of how I want to compose it. I got that done in like 15 minutes. I let that sit for 2 days so that I knew what I wanted to do with that. And then I just like did 1 hour chunks. Like it was more like a 1 hour chunk and then 2 half-hour chunks. And then I like just like watched YouTubes and did other things just so I could, have my evening, as it would be. But you just have to have, it's time management, and that's just something that I feel a lot of artists need to work on to improve their craft. Like, improving your art is great and all, but if you can't apply it like a actual tool, you're kind of losing the plot. Like, doing it for your friends or doing it for something that has no pressure, that's fine. But if you're doing it for somebody who is willing to give you a deadline because they wish to incorporate it into something they're doing, you need to respect that. Which is why I like to keep it cheap. And I would love to say I can get this to you within a week. But all my things are pretty much, I have it assumed that it's going to take at least a month to get done. Because I only work on weekends for like actual amount of stuff. And to be honest, I only work on Sundays, Sunday mornings, for the big chunks of stuff. All that said, the funny thing is, I can't do this for my own crap. Which is why you don't see the sprite models going up. You don't see me making and throwing out like little indie games. And you don't see me doing other things. You only see my fey mood of, wouldn't this be funny for some random other VTuber? I'm absolutely terrible on doing stuff for myself, which is why I want to put my skills to other people. It's the only thing that motivates me is to work for somebody else, for the most part. And the only reason I stream is to show that I can actually do this stuff. Because if you told a person, like, yeah, Scrib can get this done in like 2 days of a full pixel model, nobody would believe you. Which is why I stream it all, and I keep streaming it all because it keeps me sharp. Otherwise, I might have stopped a long time ago. Anyways, I have yapped for at least 10 more minutes, or 20 more minutes. The long and short is, go to VGen, Scribble in Dark, for your pixelated VTuber and skin suit needs. And with that, have a good day, everybody, or good rest of good time of day, everyone, and I will see you next week. Da 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 da.